How we doing tonight, people? It's your boy Bry. We are bringing a little video here for you that says we have to update you on the well pump. Not that well pump, another well pump, a family member's that has a well handle just like that, but it was based off of a real, how do we put it, cheesy situation. Let's show you what I'm talking about. So in their well pump, what they have over there currently is a concrete pad. And through the pad, you have a piece of plastic like that. And in and of itself, it's not a bad structure. It's a solid structure, and it's a clean structure. However, I opted not to go with this riser. What they did was they had ran into it with a tractor and cracked it all the way down. And they duct taped it. Now, I could just put that collar, the white collar on it, and we could call it a day because I have it cut at the bottom about 3 inches, 4 inches from above the concrete. We could seal it up and be good with it. If it was just a regular well, we'd be okay with that. But what we've got, people, is we have to put the other hand pump on there for backup, say water, and that's a little flimsy when you're dealing with plastic. So what your boy Bry did was he said, let me go over to a local place near me, and we have a well company, Kincaid well company, and they sell parts, pieces, and everything in between. And what your boy Bry did was he bought a riser and a threaded adapter. And you say to yourself, my friend Bry, how can you put steel on top of plastic and that won't hold? It's going to be a little, how do we say, subpar. But your boy Bry's got a lot more going on upstairs than just the average, how do we say, DIYer. What I did was I said, seeing as I have a concrete base, seeing as I have about 4 inches sticking above the concrete that's good and ain't cracked, what I'm going to do is build a riser that says, let's use some scraps, let's take the pieces and parts that were destined for the dustbin of society and say, let's see if we can't create something that we would be able to stand back and say, I think that looks factory. Let's give it a whirl, but let's take you along the journey and show you exactly what your friend Bry, the DIYer, has got created for you to view tonight. As you can see, this is the riser. This is the threaded insert piece. And what I really did not need to do was weld it, but I did. I threaded it in, and then I went around it, and we burned in a nice weld all the way around it. You can see the weld is nice. Don't judge my welds, people. Don't you judge my welds. I promise you I can weld. At the end of the day, you may say to yourself, oh, that doesn't look like a TIG weld. Well, no, it's not a TIG weld. It's a MIG weld. It's a gas MIG weld. But don't judge my welds. I promise you that they're sealed up tighter than, how shall we say, a frog's backside, just to keep it PG. But what I did was I took 4 pieces of steel, and I didn't have a flat piece of steel that big. Well, actually I do, but I didn't want to waste it. I said, let me use some scraps. So I welded the 4 pieces together. I took the plasma cutter and I cut the inside out. You got that action? And as you can see down through there, let's take a look with the light, because I know you're going to want to see it better. It's getting dark, people, and I really don't care because I work all hours. But as you can see, the plastic piece is going to fit right in there. And we're going to put some duct seal around the bottom and possibly some silicone. But what I have to do is drill 4 holes here for some pecker heads that go down in the concrete, and we're going to anchor that down so that when they're cranking on that handle, you have something stationary mounted right to the concrete. Now, I do need to clean this edge up, but what we're not worried about is exactly this edge. I need to get a flapper disc on here, and we need to clean it up, but I also have to notch this down a little bit wherever the wire comes through, and I need to notch it where I can put a piece of rubber. What I did is I took right here I took a piece of rubber gas line and slid it down the center, and then we RTV'd it in there so any of the wires don't chafe. Because as you know, that was the whole purpose of going after this well pump in the first place. But here's the pieces, and you can see they're 3/16 or so thick, and the plasma cutter cut right through them like butter. Now, you do need a bunch of different tools, people. If you have, let's just say, a wife or a husband that says to you, I don't know why you need all these tools. Well, you're in for a ride if you're dealing with a guy like me, because I need all the tools that I have. I use my plasma cutter, the prime weld. I use my chop saw that's basically has a carbide blade. I use my fabrication table to mount it down and hold it to make it level. I use, what else did I use? I use my stands, I use my welders, I use everything at my disposal to make my job a little easier, because when you're trying to dream something up and you're saying to yourself, they don't sell that in a store, but this is what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, you need to be the one as the DIYer to say, I can do this. It's all about your perspective and your approach. Remember that. When a race car, say you're doing drag strip racing, I've done a little, I haven't done racing, but I've been around that a little bit, and it's always about your approach and how you look at the line, so to speak, if that makes any sense. But your boy Bry is not a slouch, and he's saying to you, the DIYer, you can do it too. You can go ahead, and if you can think it and fabricate it in your mind, all you have to do is give it a try, give it a try, give it a try. And we're happy to have this riser. Hopefully I can put this well to bed tomorrow and get on with the situation, because I do have a Generac that needs to go in, and I do have to mount that. I got the permit and so forth, but we're working on it, and we're saying to ourselves, sometimes when people call you and are in dire straits and they need you, you have to give them a hand. And I'll say this, a big shout out to my friend on the North Shore. I don't want to use his name because I ain't got permission, but he's a friend of mine that was always there, and he's always been there, and we try to help each other. And when I was gone down in Texas, the great state of Texas, I had some issues, and he came over and brought a little a mini generator over, and he helped my son out. And if you don't know, I had a generator meltdown. The thing ran for something like 20 something hours, and it finally just, I think I pulled it apart, and it's the wrist pin finally gave out. But it gave all it had. It said it had a bad heart. It took a turn for the worse, so to speak. But we bought a new one. We've got a brand new one, and we've got it ready to go. And but just a shout out to my friend over on the North Shore for hooking me up. And if you don't know where Cripple Creek is, well, I mean, it sucks to be you, I guess, because everything good in people that I've ever found, I've always found over on Cripple Creek, if that makes any sense. There's good people. They're hardworking people. They're people that you can count on your hand that say, if you need a hand, they're ready to help you, and they're going to give everything they can, because one hand washes the other, if you know what I mean. And if you don't have a friend like that, well, you know, I would encourage you to try to start making some inroads to get some people like that that'll actually stop what they're doing and come help you out. Because that's when you know, it's never convenient when you need help. When someone needs help, it's never easy. It's never the best timing. It's always at the worst time, or it's always inconvenient. But that's what makes, how do I say, someone's fortitude that has character, and they have horse sense to say, let me help my friend Bry out, because my friend Bry always tries to help everybody else out. And maybe just this one time I could say, I need a hand. You know what I mean? And so when I was gone, I'd like to say I didn't have a basement that flooded. The sump pump was taken care of. And again, a shout out to the Cripple Creek people over on the North Shore. We really appreciate you. And if I had my hat on right now, I would tip it to you. But this is your boy Bry. I've got to get on down the road, because even though I'll say this, it's getting dark out, there is no mosquitoes. I don't know. It cooled off to the point where we might even need a fireplace going again. I don't know. But this is your boy Bry. I've got to get on down the road. We will give you an update tomorrow when we get this all installed, so to speak. This is your boy Bry. I got to go.